Hey guys, Paul here with another video today. We're going to take a look at my blood work after coming out of my blast. This is an honest look at what blood work looks like after I guess I was on blast for about 14, 15 weeks. I was doing, let's see, 750 milligrams of test, 600 milligrams of EQ, 150 milligrams of NPP, so that's around 1.5 grams total gear, with 6 units of GH every day. So this is what my blood work looked like after that blast was finished, at its shittiest point. So I'm getting ready to go into contest prep here soon. But so this is going to kind of give you insights into what things really look like and try to be honest with everybody. All right, before we do so, please take the time to like in this video and to subscribe to my channel. If you want to show your appreciation for all the free, awesome content I put out, that's the best way you can do so. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer each and every one of them. If you want to get in contact with me, I can be contacted at bigp3rd@gmail.com, or you can follow me on Instagram at Paul K. Barnett. All right, so let's take a look at this. On blood work, typically when I order my blood panels, there's a few things I want to take a look at. With bodybuilding, the primary things that as far as the diet and the PEDs that are going to, the things that are going to be negatively affected that we need to keep track of are our lipids. We need to keep an eye on our lipids and our cardiovascular health. We need to keep an eye on our liver. We also need to keep an eye on our kidney health, and glucose metabolism. Those are 4 big things. We can look at the other markers, make sure that our electrolytes are okay, and that our immune system is functioning, that there's not signs of some other disease state like cancer or some other chronic illness going on too. Generally what I'll do is I'll check it at the end of my blast, and then I'll do it again, 8 weeks or so later. I'll be honest with you, my blood work pretty much just stays the same, except for after contest prep, then it gets fucked up. There was some stuff that was off this time that kind of surprised me, that I've never had a lot of issues with before. But we'll get into that. So first things first, we'll look at the lipid panel here. My total cholesterol was 176, which we want to be less than 200 for total cholesterol. Really, we want that LDL number to be as low as possible, preferably below 100. Usually mine runs below 100. I don't know, the week leading up to the blood test, I had a few too many cheat meals, so I don't know if that negatively affected it or not. But my triglycerides, my cholesterol ratio, and my HDL and LDL were all out of whack. And a lot of times when I see this, it's either diet shit, which my diet's pretty low fat, or people are having issues with glucose metabolism, which seems to be what's going on with me. We'll get into that here in a bit. So that would explain why these numbers are elevated. I'm not taking any orals, and I didn't use anti-estrogens on this blast either, so that shouldn't be the issue. And my diet was pretty low fat, although I did have a couple cheat meals. I don't think enough to really skew it that bad going into the week of the blood work, but who the fuck knows. But normally this is higher than what I'm at. So let's take a look at over a period of time where mine was at. Yeah, you can see my total was 147 before. So that's, yeah, it's definitely increased. My HDL is always around 30. I don't know. It just doesn't seem, 33. It just seems to be around that area. You can see my triglycerides were really high that one time, but that was like right after contest prep, after I had a week of binging sugar. So that's what did that. But normally my triglycerides are around 100. So the same thing with my LDL. You can see it was 97 here. So I don't, it's got to be the glucose metabolism. So let's take a look at the comprehensive metabolic panel here. My fasting blood sugar that day was 113. My fasting blood sugar has been running high, and diabetes runs in my family. But both my dad, my uncle, my grandmother, basically everybody on my dad's side of the family turns diabetic after they hit 45, and they're all skinny too. That's the wild thing. It's not like your typical fat person diabetes. So I don't think it's a glucose sensitivity issue. I don't know if it's some sort of autoimmune thing, or if they just have beta cell burnout, or what. But it seems to be a genetic thing in my family. So maybe my time has come due, and I don't know. But anyway, so my blood sugar was running 113. It has been running high lately. That is in pre-diabetic state right there. Everything here for my kidneys was fine. Creatinine was fine. EGFR was 67. I know some people are going to say that's lower, but it's been the same for the last 3 years. This is pretty normal. You want it to be greater than 60. I'd say this is pretty normal for a guy my age carrying as much weight as I do. It's funny, like after contest prep, it usually that number goes up. I don't know why, but all my minerals were fine. The chloride, it's supposed to be between 98 and 110. It was 97. That's just from drinking a shit ton of water before I went into test. That's not a big deal. I mean, you can even see here it says, borderline low or high levels of chloride have very little significance. It even says it on the fucking test, so it doesn't mean anything. Everything there is fine. So my liver values, let's take a look at the liver values here. Bilirubin, ALP, AST, ALT. This number is incorrect. So you'll see here it says the range is 36 to 130. I have no idea why they have that down. The range that the U.S. government and most Cleveland Clinic, I mean every other blood test I've seen goes up to 147 is considered normal. So this is within normal range. This is just an incorrect reference here. So 140 is, for bodybuilding, 140, 39, 46. That's great for liver. Now keep in mind, hard training can skew these numbers as well. So that's why I add a GGT test in here to just, that is a more true indicator of, especially for lifters. This is what a lot of guys don't know. They panic when they see their ALP, AST, and ALT elevated. That can come from just having a hard fucking workout. Your muscles release a lot of the same enzymes. So you can see here. Let's go down. GGT for me was 43. Reference range is 3 to 95. That indicates that my liver is in very good health. So. We'll see, but that's a good number. It's severely elevated after contest prep. I'll show you here. It was 295, 297 after contest prep. I got a little carried away with the oral. I mean, I was doing 150 milligrams of orals a day going into my contest last year. So, if that gives you any indication of what high amounts of orals, it was only for like the last month of my contest. I thought I could get away from it, so I tried. But that just goes to show you what orals will do to your liver, the type of stress that you can see it came right back down. I mean, quickly. So it didn't cause any permanent damage, thank God. But my liver was under some crazy stress after contest prep last year. So right now we're in a good spot. Okay, so liver's in good health. All right. Here's where we get into the hemoglobin, red blood cell count. These are all interconnected. So if you don't know, the 5.9, the hematocrit is a factor of the hemoglobin. So I used Equipoise. Equipoise elevates red blood cell count, hemoglobin, and hematocrit. That is normal for Equipoise. I was at 51 at the end of the cycle, and I will tell you, I have a hemoglobin meter. I don't want to get into it too much, but my daughter has a blood disorder where we have to keep track of her hemoglobin constantly, and the hemoglobin wildly varies even throughout the day. And I think My theory is, and this is just me speculating, that it has to do with hydration. I'll check my hemoglobin, my hematocrit in the morning, and it'll be like 51, 52 in the morning, and by lunchtime it's down to like 46 every fucking day. I've tested it over and over and over and over and over again. So I think, and it makes sense to me that, because hydration helps with blood volume and would dilute the blood down. So I don't know. I think some of these hemoglobin readings that people get are false. That's just my speculation. And then if you're well hydrated, it's not an issue. And 51, I wouldn't worry about anyway. If we get up to around 54, 55, then you might need to go donate some blood. But that'll come back down. I'm not worried about that. That usually, on contest prep, that comes back down into normal ranges. That's just from the equipoise. That's what you expect to see with equipoise during a cycle. So everything else here, all of my immune markers are normal. And one thing I will tell you, I have noticed when I use Tren that eosinophils will go down to 0 every time. They're, you can see they're in normal range right now, but every time, like, I was kind of worried about it the first time. I thought, shit, do I have fucking cancer or something? But it's Tren for whatever reason. I have to look into the physiology of it. I don't know. I haven't talked to anybody else. So if anybody else knows, hit me up and let me know. So far, the only thing that's concerning with my blood work is my lipids and my glucose. So here's the real, and this should add to add to your blood work, is a hemoglobin A1C. This is a measurement of your blood glucose, an indicator of your blood glucose over a period of time. And I believe the A1C is something about 90 days. I think it's about 90 days. Okay, so, so I am, I am at 7, which is not good. 6.5 or greater is where you're kind of getting into diabetic territory. And I really, really, really pushed the food this time. I don't think it's an insulin sensitivity issue, because I didn't have any of the symptoms of insulin sensitivity issue. I think my body might just be pooping out with making enough insulin. And I may need to keep up with the food in the future. I may need to push the insulin more, or just not eat as many carbs. I don't know. Well, usually this cleans up, and the same thing with, this is one of the things that cleans up. Contest prep, I'll see certain markers get better, certain markers get worse. Usually liver gets worse on contest prep, but lipids will get better, and your glucose markers will get better as well. Liver usually gets trashed. So, sometimes I'll see dudes with kidney stress on contest prep, but thyroid usually gets fucked up towards the end of contest prep. Thyroid will downregulate. So those are the things we'll see after contest prep. But this has me a little concerned. I don't know. I'm going to keep a close eye on it. Diabetes runs in my family. I've speculated for a bit of time here. I'm not formally diagnosed, but I think I might be in some state of diabetes at this point. Because I am using Lantus every day, and I use Humalog on my high days, so it should be better than this. And I really don't eat that shitty of a diet. I'm pounding a lot of carbs, so it's clear here that my body is not keeping up with the carbs I'm eating. Now, I'll be honest with you. I have gotten a bit undisciplined with measuring my blood sugar levels over this fall. I used to take them every day, multiple times a day, to make sure things stayed in check. And as I've talked about before, when you measure things get better. And I just haven't been checking my blood glucose like I should be. That's probably on me. If I kept on tabs on this, I could have made diet and adjustments to my PEDs to correct this, and I just got lazy and I didn't. So this is probably why my lipids are all fucked up. If you looked at my usually, so here's another thing. Triglycerides are high triglycerides are usually a red flag that glucose metabolism is messed up in some form. Either you have high insulin resistance or you're not making enough insulin. And what will happen is your liver will start converting excess blood sugar into lipids, and that usually shows up in triglycerides. So a lot of times when you see dudes that aren't taking orals and their diet's pretty clean and this shit gets all messed up here, this is an indicator that there's some sort of issue with glucose metabolism. My triglycerides, I mean, normal is 150 or below. Mine were 151, so it's not like they were crazy, but it's still higher than I should be. I did get a cardiac CT scan done, so here, and I do that annually, and that checks for arterial blockages. And it's funny because my cholesterol is always run. That's another genetic component I have in my family. My dad, my uncle, everybody has high cholesterol. Every time I go in, it throws my doctor off. Every time I go in to get a cardiac CT scan done, my calcium score is 0. I have 0 plaque buildup in my coronary arteries. So who knows? I mean, it could be elsewhere in the body, but that would be indicative that I don't have any buildup. So I don't know. Maybe the fish oil is saving me. Maybe there's something genetic about. I know there's different types of cholesterol. It could be something to do with that. So other things, my thyroid was all fucked up after contest prep. But it's back to normal now. You can see, and I'm not taking any thyroid medication. You can see where it was at before, back up to normal here. It was all fucked up here after contest prep. That's normal. You usually see that after contest prep, but things are back to normal now. As we talked about earlier, GGT is a better indicator for bodybuilders, a better indicator of liver health. My GGT is great. Iron's fine. Everything else. Uric acid is fine. So we're no gout or anything like that. So really, it seems to be my kidneys are functioning fine, my liver is functioning fine, my heart, from what I can tell from the cardiac CT scan, is fine, but my lipids are fucked up. So that can really that can have a negative impact on cardiovascular health. So I'm going to have to keep a really, really, really close eye on that. That should get cleaned up on contest prep. That's what I'm hoping. I'm going to do my blood work again about halfway through my contest prep and see where I'm at. I get my blood work done every 2 to 3 months, just so you know. People ask. In the panels I get are the comprehensive metabolic panel. I get a hemoglobin A1C. I also add the GGT to that as well. That's typically what I do. I get my blood panels done. I order them through a place called Walk-In Labs. It's about $120 to get all that done. As much money as people spend on gear and stupid fucking pre-workout drinks and shit, it just blows me away. I don't have the money to get a blood panel done, but you're blowing $100 a month on drinking Monsters or drinking stupid ass pre-workout shakes. Just cut that shit out and get a blood panel done. I don't know, but anyway, the thing with the blood panel, so it helps plan for your next cycle. So I know I need to pay closer attention to my glucose metabolism. Maybe I need more insulin, maybe I need more metformin, maybe I need to change my diet around, do more cardio, whatever the case may be. But I have some things now that I know I need to work on, and then I need to get straightened out for coming up. And I have a feeling those are going to get cleaned up when I go on contest prep, which starts now. I'm a week out when I record this video, but I'll put this video up next week. So it'll, that should get cleaned up pretty quickly, I think. All right, guys, if you have questions, let me know. Take care.